So now you guys have mastered the classic gin sour. We're going to reiterate 2 parts booze, 1 part sweet, 1 part sour. And using that ratio, we can really start playing around with other classics. Before we make something a little bit more bespoke and unique to Renais, we should make one of my favorite gin cocktails, which is the Clover Club, an old school drink from New York, from a bar of the same name. We're going to start off by making a simple syrup again, but this time we're going to give you an opportunity to really have fun with learning how to flavor your syrups yourself. So again, we'll bring our scales and our hob. And this time we're going to be making a really basic raspberry syrup. So again, with the equal parts sugar and water, we're going to add an extra component, which is the raspberries, which have got their own natural sweet and sourness. So fresh raspberries, let's see how many we've got here. 250 grams bang on, that's pretty awesome. So if we've got 250 grams of raspberries, we're going to go in with 250 grams of water and then 250 grams of sugar. Lovely. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the raspberries to the boil and immediately take them off before I add the sugar. And that way we're not going to have any risk of cooking that sugar and ruining the balance. Let's get that on. The raspberries are a very soft, delicate fruit, so they're going to very quickly give up their juices into the water. It's going to create like a nice fresh raspberry juice, and then we're going to balance that with our sugar. So our raspberries have been infusing into the hot water now for about 10 minutes. It's come to a boil, we'll just let it settle down. We're going to strain the raspberries out of the liquid. So grab a jug and a strainer. And we're going to pour our nice fresh raspberry water, look at the colour of that, through a strainer to catch any pulp. And just make sure that we're using our scales to capture the total volume and total yield of liquid coming through. Beautiful. Lovely, put that to one side. And so in here we've got 360 mils or 360 grams of raspberry water. We're going to tear that. Just for fun, add a little pinch of salt. Salt is a really fantastic ingredient in cocktail syrups if you're just tempering any kind of vegetal bitterness and really making things pop, you know, the same way it does in food and cooking. And we're going to add the same amount of sugar as we have raspberry water, 360 grams. Now it may seem like a lot of sugar, but in cocktail syrups, you're using things very, very reservedly. You're only using an ounce at a time, so make it right. There's not really any great alternatives for sugar in cocktails in terms of balance, but you can use honey or agave, but just make sure that you're really kind of dialing in those recipes, and we're going to do a few recipes with those ingredients so that you can see the differences from a balance perspective. So we've got our sugar in the hot liquid. If you give that quite an aggressive stir, the sugar's going to dissolve as it is, as long as it's equal parts, with a bit of agitation. Speed up. Okay, so after a brief little stir, our sugar's dissolved into our syrup. Give it a little taste, just on the back of your hand. Awesome. Super fresh, super fruity. A raspberry syrup is one of the staples of mixology. It's been around for well over 100 years. This recipe harks back to the Savoy cocktail book, so I'm really excited to share it with you. So let's get into it and make our classic Clover Club. So here we go, we've got our raspberry syrup. Let's make a classic Clover Club. This time Just so we have some variety, I'm going to use our 3-piece cobbler shaker. Fantastico. And we're going to build this out. Do you guys remember that ratio? 2 parts strong, 1 part sweet, 1 part sour. So we're going to start off with our 2 parts strong, going in with our delicious mineral forward Renais gin. And we're going 50 mils or 2 ounces. Then we're going to hit it with 25 mils or 1 ounce of our homemade raspberry syrup. Look at the color of that. Damn. And then of course, fresh is best, some freshly juiced lemon. We're going to lop off the ends. With the world's most excessive knife. Freshly juice, 25 mils. This lemon, already juicier than the last. It's proving that you really should measure out all of your cocktail ingredients. So this is roughly 1.5 lemon halves. Have a little clean up. And then our emulsifier. So we used chickpea brine, aquafaba last time. This time we're going to go in with an egg white, just because, you know, I want to show the versatility of all these different ingredients you can use. So we're going to separate it, crack on a flat surface. Fantastic. Now you never want to do this directly into your cocktail shaker, because if you get the yolk in there, you're really not going to get the emulsification you need. Beautiful. Now, the only difference between this cocktail and the last so far is the fact that we're using this lovely fresh raspberry syrup. We've got a different emulsifier in there. But the Clover Club as well, it's fiercely debated, but I love it with a little bit of dry vermouth in there. So just a little 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of dry vermouth. This is just going to bring out the herbaceousness of all the ingredients, really play into the gin botanicals, and add a little bit more length to the cocktail. And let's go in with our ice. I'm going to use my fingers because I'm on my own. Not true. And here we go. Got a nice frosty glass straight from the freezer. And we're going to use our fine strainer just to capture any ice shards. She's beautiful. Oh, damn. And then to garnish, traditionally, we've got a little raspberry. But I think as well, like a little bit of fresh citrus peel on top. Does most citrus-containing cocktails a little wonder. So just some oils from the skin. Also a little tip there, it breaks away all the bubbles on top of your foam. And there you have the most elegant Clover Club in town. Cheers.